Right, so I'm going to be posting this before my videos, guys, and you can partake in it or not, but we're going to do some singing bowls, and I'm going to say a little prayer. And you're welcome to just sit and relax and free your mind up before the reading with me. I just wanted to do this. I'll timestamp it, so if you want to go straight to your reading, that's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and start. Take a deep breath. I call upon light in all beings, whom serve only love and light. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and light beings, to cleanse and protect this space. Ask for your protection and guidance so that your divine sight can be delivered with love and healing for the greatest good. I ask you, angels, ancestors, and guides, to assist those whom these messages are meant for, to assist them on their journey of healing and spiritual growth. I appreciate your unconditional love and guidance. Thank you, angels, guides, ancestors, and Lord of Love. Amen. Okay, guys, so singing bowls. I'm just going to relax and listen. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if so, I'm glad, and I'm happy you guys come to my channel and enjoy your reading. Hi, guys. I decided to do a little new moon reading. So we're getting into this new moon. The new moon's in Gemini. The other things we got going on in Gemini right now are the sun, the moon, and that's about it. Let me just double check. Yeah, the sun, the moon, and obviously the third house, which is the house of Gemini. So this is for everybody. This is a collective new moon reading. I've pulled 3 kind of things that on the shadowier side we could be dealing with. Defeat, fear, and the feelings of wanting to run away or escape from something. Not having confidence in ourselves, probably because of past defeats, past feelings of not being able to accomplish something, maybe not see something, past not seeing things, and now we're seeing things, and it's kind of scary that, hey, I missed this maybe, or I missed that, and now we're just like, there's a feeling here of just kind of, oh, Lord, like, I know I have to look at this, even if it causes me to feel like this is shadow work that I am kind of bringing into this reading. But there's also, we're going to pull some things to kind of get us through this, help us through this. There's this feeling of defeat here, disappointment. So let's go ahead and get something for that. This is the energy passing, you guys. We do not want to go into a new moon in fear of what's coming, because we know, there's things we go through, and we go through them for a reason, and we learn. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just, yes, we got that healing, the star, you guys, coming in here? And guidance. Guidance. Let's go ahead and get one for this. Terror. Fear. If right now you're in fear or you're feeling this, it's kind of just a little new moon energy check is what I'm doing here. Taking control over your fears. The Emperor. Taking control over your fears, not letting your fears control you, not letting them, you know, most of my, I think this kind of work, and especially on my channel, it's working with the emotions. It's learning how to respond to the way we're feeling so that we can respond in healthier ways that are more balanced and less hurtful to ourselves and others. And that's what I really try to bring light to here. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. It's great that you come check out the channel. And if you're returning, thank you for all your support. I really appreciate it. I noticed I had a few new subscribers. I'm super stoked about that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. That being said, on a side note, but the Emperor is taking control, because if he doesn't have control over his kingdom, who does, right? It's chaos. There could be feeling here right now of really needing to control your fears, anxieties, and even the fear of not wanting to look at something because you're afraid of what you're going to see. Like, really look at it, not just like superficially overlook it, but actually look at it, because it's probably not as scary as you think, especially if you know how to handle your response to that. If something does kind of send you into a place where you're fearful or afraid, I think, you know, our instinct, a lot of people's instinct is to want to hide, run away, maybe lie, like say they aren't seeing anything or nothing bothers them. I feel like this is about speaking up, communicating in a really honest and forthcoming way, not getting too impulsive. So watching those impulsivities right now is very important. This is, you know, Mars energy, a lot of Mars energy playing into this reading with this moon. I'm getting that moon and Mars energy. Mars is in Leo right now. So I'm not sure exactly how they're playing with each other. You know, I do get into astrology, but I'm not an expert by any means, but I know a fair share. But I will say there's a feeling here of, if you're not being mindful of how you're reacting to your fears and your defeats, or if you're, so let's just, as an example, we failed at something or we didn't succeed at something. Now we're looking at that and we're just afraid this is going to happen again, or we're afraid we're not going to be able to accomplish what we want to, or we're watching other things happen around us that are just kind of like putting us in a place of like, it's kind of like watching a train wreck and not being able to turn your eyes away from it, even though you don't want to see it, and kind of turning your back to it. So if there's something here right now, also, this is going to hit a lot of things, this reading, because it is just a new moon reading. If there's something you want to turn your back away from because it's just too overwhelming for you, or it sends like fear or anxiety into you, I would say not to impulsively jump into that situation, but to remain in control and step into it if you so feel like. I'm not telling you what to do with your energy or what to do with your efforts, time, but I will say that that is the energy coming through this reading. So let's look on the bottom here, and it's that 4 of discs. This is that determination to be secure where you're at. Sometimes this also to me comes through as kind of being very strategic in the way you are making your choices right now, and not self-sabotaging for sure. We can really hold on to our security so much that we do turn our back to others or things that need seen or acknowledged or spoke about. I would say if a situation comes in where you need to speak up, acknowledge something, I would say to do that, not turn your back to it, not pretend it doesn't exist just to protect yourself. This feels like we could be needing to look at a bigger picture here, and remind ourselves too that we're not the only ones that have lost at something or not felt secure in our choices or our behaviors and whatnot. But this is a time where we could be feeling kind of impulsive, aggressive, maybe even a little fired up about some things, and this is just staying in control. And remember that we're healing and we're on a process of healing, and we are being guided. So that is that message. Let's get one of these, you guys. Oh. There's a feeling here of really seeing things that we haven't wanted to see too. Like maybe during this new moon, there's going to be more illumination than what usually I would feel illumination as a full moon kind of thing. But this is a new moon thing. So we definitely want to start out seeing things very clearly, even if we don't like what we're seeing. We want to see them and we want to, and this is a struggle. There could be some kind of struggle either within or outside of yourself that you are seeing. And it's like, oh no, you know, and it's like, yeah, and then omen on the bottom. Like there could be a feeling here of something you're seeing coming in or playing out that you know is going to lead to something greater. Now, it's a feeling of, like I said, watching a train, like, oh no, this decision is going to lead to this and this and this, and then it's like a domino effect. So we need to be really mindful of that and how our control over a situation and the way we respond to things we're seeing, other people's struggles, our own struggles. We're not being impulsive or hiding from either. It's kind of a balance between not hiding away from the things we need to see and need to acknowledge and need to help and understand in our lives, but also not jumping in full force, like with that Mars energy just being, it is being determined. It's being very determined to maybe prevent some further damage or further struggle for yourself or others. So this feels like very kind of preventative energy. So being very mindful that what we do right now, and this is always the case, but this is this reading, you guys, what we do right now does matter tomorrow and every day after. The choices we make and the control we have over our situations and our fears and our anxieties and our self-esteem about maybe I can't deal with this because I've tried to deal with this and I failed, or, you know, we've learned, we've grown, and now we can face our fears, and we can face even things that are scary or put a lot of anxiety in our hearts. We can face those with control, and because we have that star energy, there's that healing and that's that guidance. I also look at that as praying and talking to your guides and understanding that they are communicating with you right now to stay in control over yourself, stay in control over your emotions. There's a bigger picture here. It's like Rome wasn't built in a day, but it can be burnt down in a day. You know, with this Prince of Wands, be very mindful about how you're responding to things right now. What you say, how you respond, whether you interact or don't interact with situations right now is pretty important. We got Veil, and that's what I'm feeling is like during this new moon, it's going to be more like, it's going to feel very, you're going to be feeling, and I say seeing, but in the psychic world, you're seeing it. You're seeing something for like the pre-play. You're seeing the movement before it happens. You're seeing the struggle when there's a smile. You're seeing behind the things in pilgrimage, taking a journey into that, into the unknown, I feel like this new moon is really bringing us into a place where come the full moon, our next full moon, we're going to really know how we definitely handled our seeing at this point. We're going to know if it's led us to a place of comfort and stability, or if we can, you know, it's easy to go into these places where we sabotage, or because we don't want to see something, or we don't want to stand up for something, or we don't want to acknowledge something. I feel like that's the main message, is standing up and in for, there's freedom here, home, and parent. Okay. And polarity, balance. Nice. Okay. So we got these wild horses in this, and we got this one breaking free, okay? And this hive, it's like working together with others, but this one is like, and teaching and parent. Okay, so let me just sit with this for a second. Okay, this also goes with this Emperor energy, and it is about being that leader in a way that shows others you can set yourself apart. At the same time, you're helping others to it's interesting. It's like setting yourself apart in a way that shows, I know how to do this. So if you watch, you learn. And it's kind of interesting because there's this hive energy. This could be in group situations, like let's just, as an example or metaphor, you see a group of people just talking or gossiping or putting down somebody. You can stand in and be a leader and say, I'm not going to pretend I don't see this, but I'm not going to get in a fight over it. I'm not going to punch in your face. But there's better ways to handle things. That's the message I'm getting with this new moon, is the way we handle our conflicts, and we resolve our deeper feelings where we may turn our backs to it because we're afraid of the backlash of those people, or we're afraid, okay, if I stand up for this person, or I stand in and I take control of this situation, then I become the target. So it's not being scared of that. It's really taking this powerful leadership role where you can lead with grace and understanding and leave fear at the door, because there's definitely more to protect here than just somebody you don't know. It's like that's like the energy. It's like feeling like there's going to be a lot of situations where you're faced with a chance to stand in for somebody or stand up for somebody, or a situation, or maybe this is a some kind of could be political, religious, spiritual, like in view or something like that, and it's like and it doesn't sit right with you or whatever. Like maybe the bigger group, or the bigger, it feels like, oh, okay, I don't really want to get in the middle of this is messy, but we are in the middle of it already. Is the hive energy. We're already a part of it, so we might as well be a leaderish type energy. And the parent, the teaching, we can teach by leading and speaking our mind and showing, hey, I don't have to run with everybody else. I can stand in my truth. This has been a building energy since the full moon, but it's definitely been a building energy, and I think we're going to have a chance to really dig into those shadows of when we turn our backs on things we truly believe in, just for the sake of avoiding conflict. But just because there's conflict doesn't mean there has to be this tormentive, inflaming energy. It can be very passionate, and you can still be very passionate about what you believe and stand your ground on what you believe without feeding into the frenzy. Okay, so it is a struggle. It is something that's hard to do, especially if you just oh yes, okay, oh yes, okay. So in both these cards we got this and this, and both these people are standing before, and that's what I'm feeling. It's like no matter who you're standing in front of or where you're at, you're always standing before your highest self. You're always being guided towards yourself, and we do stand alone in that, but we as people of the collective and individuals, we can kind of lead the way to a higher understanding, a more graceful way of communicating something, not turning our backs to certain things, stuff like that, breaking free from that mentality, maybe that hive mentality, if it's destructive, we can turn that into a healthier dynamic. And I've been feeling this for a long time, separately in readings, but it's just a real energy that's coming through and been being worked on behind the scenes energetically. I feel like this is a big purpose for people that are doing this, really being mindful of the energy exchange between people. So this one's just going towards their church, going towards their spirituality, choosing the right path for them. Although they might stand alone, there's glory in that, because there is a feeling here of embracing the bigger picture. And the little picture is the group, they might turn on me if I stand up for this, or if I say this, I might be looked at as strange or whatever. But the bigger picture is, in the long run, even if they, at the moment, in the mask says, oh, we don't want to be around that, that's different than there's always going to be that resonant, that echo of that happening, or that person taking the road and facing their fears. You're going to leave that impression and that imprint in other people, and that's very, very important as we keep going through these deeper energies and we talk about them. And I feel like communication is a big part of this, communicating that to people, that we are trying to bring in a much, what I feel is a much more understanding balance and energy to the collective, to people. So sometimes facing our fears, and even our fear of rejection, this has been a big one, our fear of where we kind of want to run away or turn our backs to things that just our soul and our highest self knows we should be facing. Even though you might be standing alone for a minute. It reminds me of this dream I had where I was in the circle of this, I don't know, it was like a trailer court or something. And there was all these boys throwing, they were punching this kid. And this kid was getting beat up severely. And I came in there and I was like in this, like, it was strange. But I started like preaching, not even playing like tongue, like speaking in like tongues and just saying, how do you guys, how can you understand yourselves? How can you do this to somebody? How can you do this? How can you possibly keep like kind of beating this person when they're already like this? It was a nightmare. This kid was almost dead. Like, it was horrifying. And I'm just like, and I started saying, this isn't what God wants. This isn't what Jesus' love is about. This isn't what love is. This is hate. This is disgusting. And I said some really strong, powerful things that were like, ooh, they could have turned on me like in that dream. Like, it was crazy. And then it was so weird. It just kind of stopped, and I had woke up, but it was really, really crazy because I went in there and I was just saying what needed to be said. It was really bad, but that's just what it reminds me of. Like, sometimes we need to stand in the circle and kind of make that choice for what we feel in our hearts is right. This could be just making a choice in your everyday life that maybe you don't want to do because but there is a fear here. There's a fear energy, and there's a feeling of, or you afraid, and it could be afraid you're going to fail. It could be afraid of what is going to come back at you. It could be any kind of fear. It doesn't always have to be gruesome or scary, but it's always scary when we think about not being able to accomplish something, or not being able to get our point across, or not being able to be understood. That's all scary human stuff, especially when you live in a hive, because it's like they could like turn on you, and it's like, and next thing you're like, done, like stung, like you get stung. Like, that's what I'm feeling. So there is a teaching feeling going on right now. Valor. This is what I'm talking about. Valor. Rage against the dying of the light. Not kind of blending in with the shadow. Rage against the dying of the light. When you see the light dying around you, and you see people not, or a situation not rising to its best, it's time to stand in for that and say, you can do better than that. Like, you can make better choices than that. You don't have to act like this. Like, there's so much here, you guys. It's very powerful reading I'm getting. And then we got practicality. Better to have it and not need it. Be prepared. Be practical, that this could be something you are working with this during this time. And it's better to be prepared and have that courage and that strength and that knowing inside of you and not need it, than not have it, and then not have it to utilize in the moment when it counts. Maybe in the past we've done this where it's like, man, I should have stood my ground on that. I should have said something on that, and then we didn't. And now we're, we need to trust ourselves again. So we need to start making a lot more mindful and more empowered choices for our souls, for our spirits, for our highest selves, for the greatest good, and control. And this is where I'm getting here. It says great captains are made in rough waters. It's being a leader. It might be rough. You don't get this strong by not going through rough stuff and not having to stand up for yourself and not having to battle it out with the majority, or even just yourself. Like, there is a feeling here of needing to be practical and in control right now. Raging against the dying of the light. I love it. Resolve, facing adversity. That's what I'm feeling like. There could be some adversity coming in here, and this could be multiple planets in play and stuff. That's I am getting a lot of Mars here, and then this new moon. There's just interesting feeling here. Heroic strength of spirit, nerve, heart, and guts. And that's what I was feeling like in that dream I was talking about. It's very interesting, you guys. So let's go ahead and get a let's see here. On the bottom here, we got that Sribala, but I'm going to shuffle these real quick, and we're just going to get a Kali Oracle. The spiritual cleansing and protective means necessary to overcome any obstacle shall be granted to you. This is beautiful because we may need that. We need that all the time, and we got that all the time, but we need to recognize it's there for us, you guys, and it's within us, and we can be leaders and teachers and have control and be practical and understanding all in the same. I know you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much. We're actually amazing creatures, you guys. Like, it's crazy. We're amazing people. Like, we can be absolutely stand in a very good place for others and ourselves. You can trust in what is happening in your life, especially the things that are breaking apart and arising anew. Any pain that you might be experiencing now is much less than the pain that would have taken root if certain circumstances were allowed to continue. That is so truthful. That's what I'm feeling like. If there's circumstances where you feel like walking away or turning your back or not standing in or even holding your own control over a situation, it could come back and it's going to be worse later because you didn't do something about it, or because you didn't stand your ground, or because you didn't protect your conviction. That's what I'm feeling, you guys. So let's go ahead and get one of these. Roots and Ascending Channel. And I am going to read that, you guys, and then that's going to tie up this new moon reading. Roots and Ascending Channels. Oh, I love this. So just be prepared. It doesn't mean we're going to have to use it, but just be ready to own and stand in your highest truth. And if it comes down to a fear now, like instant gratification now, or long-term change and teaching, then we need to choose the long-term teaching and not that short-term acceptance. You know, we want long-term understanding, not short-term acceptance. That's what I'm feeling. That's a saying there. I should get that on a t-shirt. Roots and the Ascending Channel. I have built walls around myself as a result of my past wounds. And that's what this is, too. It's like he's hiding behind this wall. Let me show you this picture, you guys. Because of past trauma. And, you know, I choose not to see it. And I choose not to be a part of wounds from my childhood. Known wounds, unconscious wounds, wounds from my parents, physical wounds, wounds in my mind, wounds from the dark passages of my life, wounds from education, and wounds from society. Yeah, the hive, you know, all the things we've learned and all the things we've experienced, we can really now, we know, we feel, we've learned, we're growing, we're ascending, we are doing that from our roots, from what we've learned through the growth process. How can one so wounded be able to relate to another equally wounded being? Apparently, I formed relationships out of fear. Yes, and that's what I've been talking about. This has been an energy for a couple of days. It's like, I did this out of fear, or I didn't want to speak my mind because I was afraid that they wouldn't be my friend, or I wouldn't be accepted. Or that's not what we're about right now today, you guys. We're learning, hey, I'm going to be a leader. You know, you guys want to keep having that dynamic in your life, that's your choice, but that's not my choice. And you know, and you have to go with your heart on this. Apparently I've formed relationships out of fear, repressing myself so as not to suffer more wounds. My past became present. Now, wounds, I thank you for being life's teachers, for unmasking me, and for allowing me to take an amazing journey to my center. Today, these wounds have become scars that remind me of the importance of choosing to walk a path with heart. Using your heart in choices you're making right now, you guys. Not your impulsive, instant gratification. Not the initial acceptance of others, but doing it from a place that's true in your heart. That's what I'm feeling. This feels very powerful. This is a powerful, powerful message. Now I know what is important, and for every dark corner I transcend, in the long run, brings me only one simple message. Love. Give new meaning. What does it mean to be the architect of my life? I connect with my story and with those decisions that made love grow. Today I choose wisely. I allow myself to play, laugh, and wonder. I am a greatest guide. I am my greatest guide. Today I choose wisely. Yes, I connect with my story and with those decisions that made love grow. Even the ones where we didn't choose love have made us grow. They've made us realize how important it is to follow our hearts. So that is your guys' message for this new moon. That's what I'm getting. You might want to check out other people's. They might be getting some other stuff, but it's really just kind of nice. And then we got this. How's that? That's really nice. And this is the same energy of like kind of facing the bigger picture and embracing the bigger picture. Even though you may be standing alone, there's a lot of greatness and pride and happiness and joy in that. So you guys, thank you again for coming and watching this reading. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will be getting my earth signs and stuff done here in the next couple days, but I wanted to get this one out today. So we'll talk to you later, and have a good day.